Yo, what's up, bro? This video is just gonna basically be all of my best stories condensed into one video, all of which being, in my opinion, the best stories on the channel. Let's hop right into it. It was a cold day in April of 2024. I was turning 14 at the time and my cousin was turning 12. Now, me and my cousin at the time had a really good close friendship. We would play the game Fortnite pretty much nearly every night, and we just loved hanging out and playing with each other. Me and my cousin, we did have a good relationship, but that didn't mean that we didn't like to fuck around. We loved to go into stores, mess around and do whatever. And on this one particular day, my cousin had come over for my birthday. And I'm pretty sure my birthday was either right before or right after my birthday. I'm not really too sure, I don't remember very well. All I know is that it was either before or after he decided to come down for my birthday. And he had $100 he could spend. And he said to me, I can only give you 50, and it was a $100 note from what I remember. And he said, I can only give you 50, but my mum needs $50 change, so we can only spend 50 for your birthday present. And at the time, I was fresh into homeschooling, so I was looking to improve my setup as much as I could, so I could actually play games on my desktop whilst doing the schooling. And so at this time, I wanted this one mouse, and this one mouse costs probably around $69.95. It was a pretty expensive mouse for me at a time because I was only 14 and I didn't have much money. So $70 was a lot of money to come across for a 14-year-old. So at the time I was like, I want to buy this mouse. And I pitched this idea to my cousin and he goes, nope, not going to work. I can only spend 50. So I'm like, okay. And then we're talking throughout the day, we go get some food, etc. I was like, pretty sad that I'm not going to be able to get this mouse. And he replies back and says, bro, why don't we just steal it? And at the time, I did not want to steal. I'm not a thief. I don't like to steal. I don't steal nowadays, and I did not steal before this. I've always said to my friends, hey, don't steal, it's bad. And most of the friends that have stolen, I don't hang around now. I don't like stealing whatsoever in the slightest. So I'm not a thief. This is just for entertainment purposes only. So he pitches this idea to me, and I'm like, okay, and I go along with it, not really wanting to, being a bit pressured into it, not wanting to look like a pussy in front of my cousin who's literally younger than me, and at the same time, I really wanted this mouse, and he said we could split the money 50-50, so I would come out with a new mouse along with $25, and so would my cousin, so it'd be a win-win. So I say to my cousin, you know what, sure, let's just steal it. And I didn't want to, but we walk into a JB Hi-Fi, and my cousin takes the mouse, and I remember the day he was wearing a puffer jacket, and we came in together, and when we came in together, my cousin decides to talk to the security guard for no reason, and he says to him, how long have you been working here, bro? Cousin was like, alright, well, he's new, so my cousin still goes on with it after literally acting super mad suspicious. And then my cousin runs out with the mouse, the alarms go off, and then I come out secondary. And I'm just acting like I'm on the phone. I'm like, where the hell are you? Acting like I'm on the phone so they don't suspect anything. As soon as my cousin runs out, the security guard starts yelling into his microphone, hey, we got a code red, kid stealing, red jacket, or whatever. I don't really remember. And anyway, the security guard did not chase my cousin at all, and then we met in the underground car park, and then we fully emptied the mouse out of its packaging because we thought that it would have a tracker in there because we were mad paranoid. Remember, we were just a bunch of crazy teenagers that didn't know shit about anything, so obviously we were going to think that there was a tracker in there, obviously, even though it sounds ridiculous for a $70 mouse. But anyway, we get home, and my mum asks me the next day, how'd you get this mouse? And I said, I was honest with her. I said my cousin stole it. And ever since then, my mom hasn't really liked my cousin the most, but it's whatever. And I came out with a mouse. But the moral of this story is, don't steal, it's bad, and inevitably you will get caught. Fucking bird above me, what the f? Alright, here's story number 2. I covered this story recently, so if it sounds familiar, then don't blame me. I just reckon this is probably one of my best stories covered on the channel. It was around June of 2025 from what I can remember. Maybe even May, but I reckon it was June. I was scrolling through Instagram Reels when I saw a video of Spanian, and he was pitching his Spanian kebab restaurant, and it was opening up in Melbourne, Preston. And at the time, I was like, sick, I really want to go. So I hit up all my friends, but sadly, I knew that none of them would be able to go since it was on a school day. And there's no way any of my friends are going to take the day off to travel 4 hours there and back to get to a random place that they don't know very well that's filled up with crime. Preston is not a good area. The crime rates are through the roof over in Preston. It's a shitty area. But nevertheless, I tried to pitch the idea to a few of my friends, and of course, all of them say no, except this one guy. And I did not want to go to this guy. It's a long story. I'm not going to explain it here because it would be too long. But if you want to see the full detailed story, I'll link it down below for you guys to watch. But for now, I'm just going to do a recap over all of it. So I had no one to go with, and I was like, damn, I'm not going to have anyone to go with. And then my dad messaged me probably a few days later, and the place had not opened yet, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to go over to his house and I'm going to pitch the idea to my dad. After saying this to my dad, he was like, yeah, bet, let's go. So after my dad says this, I get really excited. And I'm like, yay, I'm finally going to get to go spend time with my dad, because me and my dad didn't have the best relationship at the time or in the past, but it was improving, which was a good thing. So to think that I'd be able to go spend at least, 4 to 6 hours of time with my dad and get to meet one of Australia's biggest icons, I felt pretty happy. So we go, and long story short, we get there and it's filled with hooligans, filled with people revving their bike, and it was just a fun night. I got a picture with Spanian and it was sick. We get home, and after that we go our own ways, and I get home, and that was the day. And if you guys want to see the video fully recapped in way more detail, and if you guys want to see how I nearly got fined in that same video, go ahead and click the link down below. It'll take you straight to the full video. Story number 3. This one's with my cousin again, and you're going to see a lot of my cousin in this video because he's the one who I made a lot of my memories with. It was sometime in 2024. I'd have to say it was around maybe June, maybe even a bit earlier in 2024, and I was hanging around with my cousin again, and my cousin had shown me this fake gun he had gotten off of apparently his sister's ex-boyfriend, and it wasn't a real gun, it wasn't a BB gun, it was just a replica of a fake gun, and it looked pretty real. And especially if you were in the dark and you pulled it out trying to rob somebody, they'd most likely think it was a real gun. But obviously he wasn't going to rob anybody, and I would definitely not be down to rob anybody because I definitely have some proper morals. He shows me this gun when we meet up in real life, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, da 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 da. And anyway, he was planning on staying over to my house for probably around till 10:30 p.m. because he couldn't exactly sleep over. So he stays over until 10:30, and at around 9 o'clock we beg my mum to go out. My mum says yes, so we go ahead and hit this mall that has casinos, shopping. Anyway, my cousin really wanted to go, so of course we begged my mum, and my mum inevitably said yes, and we went out. Now at this place there was plenty of food places, kebab joints, drink places and all of that. So we were gonna go get some food, and then we didn't know what we were gonna do from there, but we were probably gonna troll around a bit. Now, good thing to know is I was on my blue BMX and my cousin was on one of my scooters that now got stolen, and that's a whole story for another video. Anyway, my cousin was like, alright, well, we'll go get food. We ate, and then me and my cousin decided to go up to this casino, and we weren't obviously going to try to get in or go gambling because we don't even look old enough, let alone are we, and we didn't have any money. So my cousin was like, alright, we'll just go here, troll around, troll the people and all of that. And we saw that there was quite a few people in the car park, and so many mosquitoes around here, so many. But anyway, there was quite a few people in this car park, and to me and my cousin, it seemed like a great opportunity to go up to people and just mess around. So what happens next is nothing I condone, or nothing that I what am I trying to say? Nothing I condone, nothing that I want other people to do. The reasoning behind this video is just to, just basically for educational and entertainment purposes only. So my cousin, after this, he goes into this car park and I'm with him, and he's on my scooter whilst I'm on my bike. I'm on my bike and I'm with him, and he knocks on this guy's window. And this guy was in a car, and he was probably around a 50, 60-year-old man, bit overweight, and he was a bit slow. Not mentally, but he was a bit slow, physically. He knocks on his door, he gets out of the car, my cousin just starts saying random shit to him, and it was so funny. I wish I got it on camera. I probably did, but my phone's definitely broken since then, so I don't have the video, but it was so funny. And then this guy finally goes up to my cousin, and it starts to get heated. This guy goes, I'm gonna fucking smash your head, and I'm gonna whoop your ass if you don't fucking leave me alone. I'm waiting for a friend. And anyway, this guy then tries to go up to my cousin, and he's about to hit him, and I see it going down. And my cousin then decides to pull out this fake replica of a gun. And the guy sees this, and he just looks at it, and he goes, all right, and he backs away, hops in his car, and he leaves the casino. And we follow the car, and we run up, and we see that he went straight on the highway, and he fucking dipped. He left. And after this, we were like, yeah, we got to dip, because I knew for a fact other people saw that, and there was a police station right near this mall as well. So if someone called the police saying, hey, this kid just pulled out a gun, because it did look real, we were definitely going to get in trouble, or mainly my cousin, because I'm not the one who pulled out a fake gun, because I wouldn't be that fucking stupid. And anyway, we head home, don't get any repercussions, but it made for a fucking insane story. And the moral of this story is to not ever do stupid shit like that. It doesn't help your case, and it just isn't good to do, and it can honestly traumatize another person. And I know it sure did for me when I got robbed, and that's the next story we're going to be covering. It was midway through 2023. I was new into homeschooling, and I was pretty much, and through this time period I had no friends. So I wanted to hang out with as many people as I could, because I had no one to hang out with. And so when my friend that I'd known since kindergarten, when he messaged me asking me to hang out, I was like, you know what, bet. I haven't seen this guy in like a year and a half, 2 years, haven't had a good hangout in forever, so I'm gonna go hang out with him. Now, we had a bit of a rocky past, because I'm pretty sure he was stealing my money, and if that theory is right, he probably stole over $1,000 from me throughout all the years. And that money was basically just from Christmas, birthdays, and it would always somehow go missing after he came over and after he left. So I didn't trust him at all with that type of thing, but I never thought he would try to rob me or do anything, because we'd known each other for like over 10, 11 years. Or at the time of the video, probably around 8 years. So I knew he wouldn't do anything. Maybe a bit longer than 8 years, but it's not the point. We meet up, and then not long after we meet up, he was acting really sus, and he pulls me into this alleyway. And I had my bike with a few other various expensive things on me, but he specifically told me that day to bring some money. And I'd brung money, and he asked to see the money as we were walking. So I show him the money, thinking, hey, this is weird. Why does he want to know that I have money? I mean, what? Does his other friends not bring money? Why would they lie about that? So that was already a red flag. And then as we're walking up to my old primary school, in this alleyway, there was 3 masked up hooligans that start coming our way. And I see this, and I'm like, yo bro, do you want to turn around? And he goes, oh no, I'll be fine. I probably know them, it's all good. And I'm like, all right. And me thinking it's fine, I just keep going. And me being the stupid kid that I was, I kept on walking. And they then proceed to rob me, these 3 people. And it was very traumatic for me, and I'm not just saying that. They pulled out at least a 16-inch machete, and they were threatening me, saying, hey, if you don't do this, we're gonna stab you. If you don't give me your bag, we're gonna stab you. And this is what really started it for me. This is what led me to actually, I'd say, this helped me in a very big way, because it made me realize the place I was living in is not a good area, and it made me actually get out of a lot of other different scenarios from having, that thing in my brain go off that these people could be robbing me. And that actually saved me from getting robbed 2 other times in the future. But it's a story for another video. But anyway, these goons proceed to rob me. They're still around probably $40, $50 worth of stuff. But that's another story, is don't meet up with shady people, and remember who you're friends with, because I thought this guy was my friend and it was a relationship we had for 8 years, but I didn't think about all the times he'd stole money from me, and I didn't think that he could be trying to set me up. And this guy later dropped out of high school, and from what my friends have told me, he's now severely addicted to different types of drugs, and it's sad, and I really feel for him, I really do, and I really hope he can turn his life around. Yo guys, thank you very much for watching this video, and before I end this off here, I'm going to be plugging my Instagram. I'll be right up on the screen right here. I'm going to be very active on Instagram, posting, every day hopefully, so if you want to go check that out, go ahead. It's gonna have personal stories, more events, so if you wanna, get to know my content more personally, things like that, then check out the Insta. If not, that's totally fine. Peace out, guys.